All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of What the Heck is Chris Doing Today? Well, I'm going to show you guys how to make a cone, in case you guys ever need one. In my case, I need one today for my rockets. So if you ever needed to make a cone similar to this, as long as it's a simple cone, a straightforward cone, nothing special about it, like it's not spherical or round or bulbous or anything, I'm going to show you the easiest way to make a cone on paper or cardstock or plastic or whatever it is that you need to make it out of or are going to make it out of. Really simple, and it'll work for all sizes. First thing you need to do is have yourself a couple right angle tools. I happen to like to use a square, but in this case, for examples, I can just use one of these. All right, so one of the things we're going to need to know is the height of the cone. How high is it? You can get an accurate measurement with a caliper, or you can use a plain, simple ruler. In my case, I have a ruler on these squares. So you need to know the base of the cone as well. And by the base, I mean the diameter from one side to the other side, not the circumference, not the radius, but the diameter. Okay, so diameter, height. Unless you're putting a hole in the top of the cone, there's an additional measurement that we need to take, but we're not too worried about that right now. So in my case, actually not, but for example, let's just say that my cone is 4 inches high and the base is 3 inches in diameter. So let's just remember that 4 inches high, 3 inches in diameter, right? So it's taller than it is wide. First thing we need to do is make a center line. So you can do that with a T-square or your ruler or whatever it happens to be. I recommend the square. So I'm going to make this reference line right there. Okay, that's all I did, draw a line. Next, we need to make a baseline. And that baseline has to be at a right angle from your center line. Draw a little higher so you guys see it. All right. Okay. So, oh, I let it slip right there. So I have to make note of that. All right, so got the center line, the baseline. Now I'm gonna measure up for our height. So I said our height was gonna be 4 inches. So I'm gonna use this square right here. Measure up along the center line, 4 inches. And I'm just gonna make a mark right there. And then just make sure it's even Stevens with the line. That's just for good measure. All right, then we got to go along the base side, and we're going to use half of the distance of the base. So in our case, it's 3 inches. So I need to go, what was that, 1.5? 1.5 inches. I'll make my mark right there. Okay. Simple so far? Seems like it. All right, the next step, super simple. All you gotta do, connect the dots. You're gonna go from here, the mark on the baseline, and then the mark to the center line for your height. Just like that. That's it. All right, now, here's the tricky part that a lot of people don't remember. Gotta get out your compass. You don't know what a compass is. That's what one of these are, okay? You got a sharp point on one side and lead on the other, or a marker. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from the height center mark, which is right there, all the way out to where our baseline meets right there. Okay, it's important that you do it in that fashion and not going to the center line. And I'll show you why in a minute. All right, so I'm gonna make my circle. Okay, now that's good. Had I, or had you, gone from the center line to that reference line that we used as a base, your circle, your cone, would come up short. Okay, you see the distance from here to here? That's huge. that's, what is that, close to 1/2 inch? It's 0.45-ish, a little more. I wasn't exactly being accurate there. So almost 1/2 inch. That's just here. Now, if you double that, because you're using diameter, not radius, you'd be off on your cone an entire inch, and it wouldn't fit, or it'd be too small for whatever you're trying to do. All right, so next thing you gotta do, take yourself all the way back to kindergarten or elementary school or whatever that was when we used to use glue and paper and all that stuff. And you're going to cut out your circle. I'm being a little sloppy right now because this is taped to the table. I'm going to cut along that line a little more carefully. I barely see that mark. Alright, and again, this is not for my personal use here, this one. I'm just doing it for example. So I am being a little sloppy with it just to get the video done. Plus I'm, running out of memory space on my phone. So I've got to be as quick as I can. And there we go. We're almost there. All right, so that looks to be about it. It's not 100% precise, but pretty darn close. All right, then we're going to make another cut right here to your center mark for height. Then, it's simple, is getting your cone and the lines to meet and mesh where you have them, and then that original line that you drew, this one right here. See that line? There you go. There's your simple, super easy cone. You've got extra, that's kind of nice. So if you mess up on your cuts, you can always, cut it shorter or whatever. But in any case, from here, you can actually make it shorter and shorter and shorter as far as the base, but you run into things like your lines aren't going to be even and things like that. These lines right here, you have to make additional cuts, but this is all you do. Super simple. Measure your height, measure your base, make the center line, make the base line, put the height mark on your center line, put the half of your base on the baseline, and then your compass on the height, and the other side to the baseline that you made the mark, and then do a circle and cut it. And then you have a simple cone. In my case, I got something that's going to be fun. We'll see how it turns out. This is not the cone for it. It's going to be much, much bigger. Catch you guys next time.